Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Would you please stand for invocation? Let us bow our heads. Oh, gracious God, we thank you for this day that you have given us, oh Lord. Lord, we ask would you please forgive us for all our sins, oh Father God. Father God, we ask you to bless this board and bless this parish, oh Lord. Give us the wisdom and the knowledge to carry on the parish business. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Father, may the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we do have, well, welcome to our E911 board. Do we have any additions and deletions to the 911 board? Would there be any guests and public comments for 911? If not, we'll roll on to new business. Approve the April 15th, 2024 minutes.
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Jones.
Second.
A second by Mr. Parker. Discussion. If there's no discussion on this item, please vote. Hey, Ms. Burrell.
Well, clicker.
Oh, you might have left it up here from the last meeting.
Raise your hand, we'll recognize
I'll trade you.
Oh, sorry.
you. You already vote for me?
I think I had.
And vote for you.
Thank you. Item passed. Item number 2, authorize payment of approved bills and accept the financial statement as of April 30th, 2024. Year-to-date budget to actual report prepared by Dees and Grinder CPA.
So move.
I got a motion by Mr. Baker,
Second.
second by Mrs. Simpson. Discussion on this item. You have anything you'd like to say, Ms.?
Where it should be.
Okay,
Okay.
good deal. No more discussion, please vote. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Parker,
Second.
second by Ms. Raines. We adjourn from the E911.
Thank you.
And, yes, sir, thank you. You sure you had nothing to say? Okay, good deal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just roll right over into our regular meeting. We have a presentation of Achievement Awards, the North DeSoto Middle School State Champs. Mr. Robbie?
Yeah, we'd like to present the North DeSoto Middle School Griffins with recognition of winning the 2024 Louisiana Middle School State Championship Tournament. So if the boys and the coaches like to come up, we'd like to take a picture with you and then present this award to you and your coaches. Oh, Blake. Hold it up higher. There you
And we have refreshments for the team and the parents. It's in the kitchen right now. There's cake and drinks and everything for you guys to enjoy.
Thank y'all again. Keep up the good work and
Congratulations, guys.
congratulations. And it's not too late to start working on another one for next year. Okay, are there any announcements? Being none, if any call for additions, deletion to the agenda, I have one, which will go under old business. Authorize the president to sign a CEA with the city of Mansfield to provide two-way traffic for Moulton Street and Adams Street by placing curbs and gutters, widen the portion of each street and placing a definite parking space at the old jail site. Do I have a motion to add this to the agenda?
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Parker,
Second.
second by Ms. Simpson and Mr. Lathan. Roll call vote, Mr. Baker?
Aye.
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 Motion passes to add it to this agenda to the old business. Okay, we down to guest and public comments. Mr. Todd Derrick with GoSap, are you here? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Derrick, and I'm with the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness to give, and it's been one of the initiatives of the agency ever since the new governor's been in office, that we as the regional representatives for for the state agency get in front of our local police juries just to basically introduce ourselves, to let you know that you do in fact have a local representative of the agency here in this immediate area. I only wanted to just do just a couple of quick things because I know that y'all have a lot of items on the agenda. The one thing that I did want to address is if for the benefit of those who may not be aware of what the agency is, in effect, we are, if you took FEMA, which is Federal Emergency Management, we are a state-level version of FEMA, along with a state-level version of Homeland Security, all under one roof. We are headquartered out of Baton Rouge, and my job as a regional coordinator, I'm assigned to GOSEP Region 7, which is a mirror of State Police Troop G. It's the exact same area. I myself, I live in Frierson. My office is actually in the Stonewall substation. The one major topic that I did want to cover, just for informational purposes, for the benefit of the new jury members, and just for anyone who may not be familiar with what the main tool is that the police jury would use in order to engage GOSEP in a given situation, is if there is any type of natural disaster event, forest fire, tornado, whatever the case may be, any type of event that happens within DeSoto Parish, the parish's first level of defense against that incident is going to be your parish level emergency manager, who is Sonia Sharrow. She works for the sheriff's office, and she's the parish representative. In the event that a given circumstance or a given event goes outside of the parish's responsibility, or the parish's ability to handle that event with its own parish resources, there is a document called a parish level emergency declaration that comes from this body, and it basically says in simplest terms that the event has happened on this day, this is what the circumstances are, and we officially request state assistance. At no time ever will the state just roll up onto the scene and say, we're here, we're going to take it. It's not that way. We don't come unless, in effect, we are officially invited to come and assist by those of you on this board. And once that happens, it basically opens the door for state-level assets to be brought in, and that can be anything literally from pallets of bottled water and MREs up through helicopters and bulldozers, depending on what the circumstance is. So long as it can be properly articulated that you need it, we will get it and we will deliver it to wherever the event has happened, and we'll provide those assets to the parish in order to get the citizens who have been affected back on their feet, get them back in their homes, and get them back up and functioning as they were meant to be. At any given time, if this body determines that you no longer want the state involved, then all you do is say, we rescind our parish declaration, at which time the state will back away, and we will just basically keep ourselves in a holding pattern until either the event is fully reconciled or until you request our assistance again. It's my job as a regional coordinator, basically, if there is something that you need, then I either get it for you or I have the phone number of who I can call in order to get it for you. So that's, in a nutshell, just the information I wanted to pass along. Michael has my contact information. Nick has my contact information as well. I see Mr. Clark and Mr. Latham on a regular basis as well. With that being said, I just wanted to just offer up a moment or two if anybody had any questions, anything at all about the agency, what we do, anything that can be provided, anything at all about anything at all.
Are there any questions? Mr. Todd?
Yeah, let me ask you this. You said if there was anything that we might need, what categories fall up under that?
Oh goodness, it's very broad. We actually have it's a FEMA produced. It's called a authorized equipment list, and it literally, if it's something that would be potentially needed in any given emergency, it is on this. In fact, I can provide you a copy of that list if you wish. But again, the main determining factor is if you say I need a 50 kW generator in order to run this building, then all you have to do is, of course, articulate that you need that item. And if the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, we'll deliver it to wherever. And it does. It contains this FEMA listing provides literally, if you can imagine it, it's on there. Everything from food and water to rubber gloves and needle syringes to, again, helicopters and bulldozers, just depending on what the issue is. And again, that's one of those things that my office is is literally right next door to Sonia Sharrow. She and I talk on a regular basis, so anything at all that would be required or even hope for, that's conversations that she and I can have, or that I can have with anyone on this board. But it's, like I say, the list of possibilities is a lot bigger than what you might would think.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Todd.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Todd.
Is there any more guests and public comments on anything on the agenda?
I got one, please.
Yes, sir.
My name is Perry Thompson, and I am one of the owners of a development taking place on 3276. Been paying attention. It seems there's been some conversation about a new compactor site to be located on Pine Grove Road. I believe you guys have had some discussion about that. After discussing it with my partner, we would like to ask that you identify a second or an alternative location to that specific spot, please. We own the development that would be directly north and on the west side, the east side of your development. And right now, a compactor site is less than attractive to what we're trying to achieve in that area.
Okay. You have any more recommendation for other properties?
Sadly, I don't. We were not necessarily as opposed to the part on Stanley that you guys were looking at. Ideally, we don't care for it regardless, but in that particular location, it doesn't have the potential effect that we think it does when it's on Pine Grove.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is that your development on Stanley?
No, sir. That is not. He's a neighbor. That's Sepulveda.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You stated that you have property adjacent to, or?
We do. So if you've seen the area that's been cleared, a large chunk of land, we own 70 acres of that large chunk. Most of that is designated to commercial real estate development. And then we have 32 acres allocated towards a business that we'll be launching later this fall as well.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you, as far as you said you had future plans for your area.
Sure.
With true understanding, I understand what, your concern. But at the same point, you're gonna have to understand us as well,
Certainly.
when it comes down to a vote, as
Certainly.
far as trying to, what's best for the
Sure.
parish and for that area. So with respect with that, I understand.
Yeah.
And we take that into consideration, but I'm just
Sure,
letting
I
you know.
understand. And if I may, I talked to Robbie earlier this morning, I believe, or this afternoon, sorry, thinking, and I don't really know the boundaries of who's what, but Robbie's a neighbor and obviously a juryman. Spoke to him, and for us, we've made some pretty strong commitments to do something that's both beautiful and better for the community of Stonewall specifically, and something that has an economic impact that the jury would be direct recipients of.
Okay,
Because of the economic development that's taking place there. In our case, we have a property on the other side where we will open our business and we will have a large volume of guests. And I expressed to Robbie to our point, the visual side of the compactor is not necessarily an issue for us as much as the potential smells that come with it. And that is
true.
so from that perspective, and when we weigh the economic impact that we are bringing to the area, obviously we have bias. It doesn't kind of outweigh the other. I did tell Robbie I would help in any way possible in identifying other properties, but sadly at this moment I don't
You
know.
have not.
Well, and again, this is new conversation. We were brought up to up to date as about a week ago, and just been kind of weighing, our position on it. But after discussing it behind closed doors, it's one of those things that we believe would be potentially detrimental to that area specifically.
So the businesses that you are investing, are in the works as we speak?
They
or-
are, yeah, they are in the works. We're discussing national, regional, and local businesses, and then obviously we will have our own business there as well.
Are you willing to elaborate on the type of businesses that's coming? that you
Specifically,
specifically talking about?
yeah, there has been discussions of a holiday theme park, and that's what we are currently in pursuit of. So right now, we'll open that later this fall. That's you can't really see where it is because it's hidden by trees, but it's directly behind where the compactor site would be. So your compactor would back up to about an 8-acre parking lot where our guests would be circulating.
You said a holiday theme park?
Yes, sir, holiday theme park.
What does that consist of?
It's kind of in line with the Holiday Trail of Lights. So it's a Christmas seasonal attraction specifically. That's the primary basis of the business.
But also I know that's seasonal, so you would, from what I understood listening the first time, you will have businesses that will be ongoing.
We will, yeah. So they won't all be our businesses. No, but we are.
So like a little strip.
Strips, restaurants, retail office complexes, potential medical office buildings, those kinds of things. So,
Okay.
yep,
Well,
Any more
give me something to
questions?
think about.
sure.
Yeah,
Any more questions?
yeah, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wait, let her come on. They want something to say. I'll wait
We
till
live
they.
on Pine Grove Road, and that road is not set up for big trucks to go up and down. It's a narrow road that just 2 vehicles can go down safely. When you put a big truck hauling a dumpster down it, you're endangering people. I have small grandchildren that live next door to me, and they can't play on the road now. But it'd be even more dangerous for them going between the houses when you put something like that in that area. Stanley Road is no better. Right now, it's a torn-up road from all the big oil rig trucks going up and down it. And it's torn up now. You're just gonna make it that much worse. And I know there's small children that are on that road as well. You're endangering the lives of our youth.
Just for the record, if it proceeds, the road will be widened out.
Can't widen Pine Grove much more.
It will be widened out.
Can't widen it on the side that I live on. You'd have to widen it on the side where his thing is going. And you have a right-of-way through there as well.
Yes.
So, what you gonna do?
Uh,
You can't build on that right-of-way.
I
Have
just
to have
want
so many feet from it when you widen something.
I just want to say, ma'am, I'm about the people. And before we started on this journey, we should have saw what the people want. That should have been the first option.
I understood that there was a site on Mansfield Road that they were looking at, which would be the more reasonable site because you're not endangering the people. It's already there, you know? Why wouldn't that site be looked at? Because, you know, you could get to it off of Mansfield Road. You wouldn't have these cars running up down these roads with all these people. And right now, I can stand out in my front yard and hear people turn on my road off of those little back roads going 45, 50 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And that's dangerous as it is. I've been threatening to get a radar detector and get some of their license
tickets out.
plates and see how fast they're going. Because it's dangerous.
Yep.
We need to consider the future of our town, or these smaller children that you're endangering by putting something like that on that road. And I know that they said that it wouldn't be going off of our road for if they put it on Stonewall Frierson, there wouldn't be entrances off of our road. But the Stanley Road would have entrances off of Stanley Road. And that means much more traffic going down Pine Grove and Stanley going there.
Anybody else?
I'm just curious.
Well, as of right now, we have two locations we're looking at. One is Stanley Road and one is Pine Grove.
Well, what
That's
happened
what
to the Mansfield Road one?
Mansfield Road, the owner would never commit to selling it, and he wants way too much for it. So,
But it's better to put it somewhere where it's dangerous for,
I would love to have it on
Personnel.
Mansfield Road.
Yeah.
I would love to have it on Mansfield Road. We've looked at 2 or 3 locations on Mansfield Road, but they want way too much money for Mansfield Road. Maybe someone could help us purchase some property on Mansfield Road so we can go that route.
And
A
it's,
developer possibly.
and it's either that or you won't have anywhere to take your garbage.
Well, when we branded the property, we branded it with an Eat, Live, Shop More. So if you're familiar with Providence on Southern Loop, and I know that's quite elaborate, we won't necessarily build it out the same way, but it is the same type of culture and environment that we're trying to create. And the more does not include a compactor site, respectfully. Now, obviously, I can't control that part because I don't own that piece of land. But like I said, we did make some commitments on our end to our local officials specifically, and we intend to honor those.
Sir, you had something?
My name is Ricky Taylor, and I live on Pine Grove Road, right where he's talking about
Sir.
bringing the trash dump. We don't want that in our neighborhood. Too much traffic, it's already a short street. Too much traffic back and forth, we don't want that. We don't need it.
Okay.
Rather for to find somewhere else.
Mr. Fuller?
Good evening. Do y'all know anybody that would like to sell some land somewhere that it might can go for a reasonable price?
They didn't say it now. They didn't say it now.
I'm curious, like they say the lease, I'm hearing the lease is up, but the lease is not up. Which one is it?
It's not up yet.
When is it up? It wasn't a 99-year lease?
No.
The lease.
So when is it up?
Lease is up.
The lease is up.
Been up though. Come on, let's be honest. Cause you know I'm the research queen. The
Is it
lease
up?
been up. It ain't just got up. Some years it's been up. But the
2023.
folks said we ain't got to
It
go
just
nowhere
expired,
right now.
Miss Burrell. It just expired in
But
2023.
I got a solution for it. Since y'all know I have a problem in the first place with overriding the people. We lost sight of what we hear, what they elected us for, and it was for them. Now, the city of Stonewall, town of Stonewall, whatever, how about doing them a garbage pickup? And go pick up these people trash like the city of Mansfield do. Let them put a little charge on the water bill like we do. It's other options besides that dumpster. If these people don't want it, then we need to come up with some more options.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Karen Goodman. I lived in Stonewall most of my life on Pine Grove Road. I graduated North DeSoto. My children have graduated North DeSoto. This is my grandson who lives on the road next to me, in between me and my mother. My grandson just graduated North DeSoto. We are generations of living on that land. Generations. My grandparents used to live out there. My great-grandmother used to live out there with us. This is not okay. This is not okay. I've also served this community 30 years as a teacher at North DeSoto. I know, I went real far in life. I went right across the parking lot, but that's okay. But this dumpster on our road is not okay. And why aren't other options? Why are we just getting down to the bottom of this is the only options you've got? Why are we told now these are the only options we have? Why weren't we notified long ago about options and something in the mail, something telling us what's going on? Until it gets to the bottom line, this is all we got.
Well, we just started discussing this last year.
Did we
So
get
this has
anything,
been-
did we get anything as, for the people that live on that street, did we get anything notifying us that this was
For the
going on?
record, excuse me, ma'am, for the record, I'd like to say something. People on that road have not been notified because we haven't purchased any property yet or even tried to. The only thing they're doing tonight is appropriating money for me to negotiate with the landowner who's offering to sell it. It still has to go through planning and zoning in the town of Stonewall and the town of Stonewall. So this is the first stage of that
Okay,
process.
I
So
get that.
there's no process where we go and notify all the landowners as the police jury when we're going forward with a project like that. So I just want to address
Yeah,
that
but-
issue.
Notifying us that this is gonna be an option, that there's several steps that are gonna be taken before it actually happens. But, so it could be nipped in the bud and we could find
But
another
this
place
is,
to put it.
but
long
this
before.
is the process.
Okay.
This is the public
No,
hearing.
I'm here to tell you, I'm not okay with this.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Mr. Fuller?
Excuse me, ma'am. Like today, there were some options, ma'am, excuse me. There were some options as to putting some more compactors over at Fry's in there, but they said y'all didn't want to travel that far. And so, you know, because some people have to travel long distance and some don't. And that was an option to do that. But they say, like say, I'm just saying, this what was said in this meeting.
Yep.
That y'all didn't want to travel that far. So those were the options that were brought up.
How they said that and they didn't know.
Hey,
I'm not saying
order.
the constituents said that, some of the jurors said that.
Wasn't there a site on Linwood, a dumpster
About to
site?
get ugly, because
That
I
maybe
didn't,
it could
I
be
didn't say anything.
enlarged and accommodate us?
We mentioned that.
Left.
We mentioned Linwood, we mentioned Frierson, but they say that y'all would have to travel too far.
No.
No,
Enlarge it and use that one, because that would be more economical and easier to access than some of these others, and it doesn't endanger children and stuff like that, because Linwood is a
Linwood is another leased property.
bigger road.
And Frierson is
Lease
a big
is also
site.
fixing to be
I mean, it has plenty of room to put some container and dumpsters.
But Linwood would be more economical.
I just want to make
Got a lot of
a
conversation
point of
going
order.
on. Yeah.
Excuse me. We do not own Linwood. We have a lease on Linwood, so we cannot expand the
leases and the
Linwood
money
site
allowed.
if we just wanted to. So just make sure that's out there and that's clear.
Okay.
Do we
But is
lease
there room
all
to put any more containers?
No, there's no room to put any more
okay.
containers there. No, sir.
I know
I
Frierson,
wish there
Frierson
were.
has plenty.
I wish there were.
Frierson has plenty
Yeah.
room.
So is there room on Frierson, like, as he stated, to put some more?
Yeah.
Yes, but compactors, you would have to repurpose the asphalt. You'd have to tear up some asphalt and put the
That's fine.
reinforced concrete in there.
That's
so-
cheaper than what we talking about doing.
Okay, so,
Let's talk about what we're discussing, okay? We're discussing the people of Stonewall that live in North DeSoto Estates, okay, over there in that area. They're gonna have to drive 12 miles one way to a compactor site. I don't think the people of Stonewall wanna drive 24 miles round trip to a compactor site.
but you just
They
heard that
do it in
but you just
Bremen.
heard they don't wanna.
Ramming
They just said
and
they want one in
Converse,
their yard.
how they do it down
So-
there. So
so
what's
my-
the difference?
You can-
Okay,
come on, sir.
I have a question.
We're gonna take a couple of more, and that's gonna be it.
I'm Philip Butler, and I live off Stanley.
See that, I told you.
And the main thing about this whole situation is it gonna get somebody killed. We have a big problem right now, and won't nobody do nothing about it. People, cars, I'm going from my house off BB Lane on to Stanley to Mansfield Road. Bad as this road is, people passing me running 60 and 70 miles an hour. Almost hit my neighbor one morning, and if we bring that in there, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It ain't just, it's the smell, and then it's all that traffic. They're gonna cause a big problem right there in Stonewall. We've been having a pretty decent living there in Stonewall with the people we got, but I know it's adding on. We got 2 or 3 new neighborhoods that almost all that traffic comes through there. And whenever something happens on 49, they send everybody downstairs. It's bad enough going to the Stonewall dump. People will run over you trying to turn in there or coming out. And if we put this dump in on Pine Grove or Stanley, it's right there in the neighborhood. You know, I understand what y'all saying, but it's not a good spot.
Bro,
Mr. Raines?
where's the entrance to your development gonna be?
Main entrance is right off 3276.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I do. In the community where possibly these compactor sites, is it in the heart of these neighborhoods?
Yep.
Compared to where the Stonewall one, right there off the road, there's no houses there. So we're planning to put one physically in the community.
If I may,
Frierson,
I'm not
the
finna go for
Frierson
that.
dump
Okay.
is right behind the neighborhood.
The fries and donuts there first, though. Fries-
Okay, but when Mr. Norton said possibly,
Most all of them are in the
possibly the Frierson could take some more just by doing, you saying the asphalt, the concrete. We ain't gonna be able to satisfy everyone. I understand, your people in Stonewall. I do. But at the same time, if we already have a site in place and all we have to do is add, accommodate and fix, I can't, I'm sorry that they, some of them may have to drive a little extra. We don't have the lease for the one that we're at now. It's over. But at the same time, why sit? I just feel like now I'm not gonna vote for putting this into their neighborhoods. I'm not. I'm just not. I have to drive to the dump.
Okay, we no more comments.
I wanted to ask, she said something about Mansfield has a garbage pickup.
Yep,
Couldn't something like that be done for Stonewall?
yep.
That'll be with your town, Stonewall.
Y'all need to get
Y'all
with
wanna pay for it?
y'all mayor
It's not free.
and see can they make it happen.
That's an
Yep,
option.
Hey, Mr. Fuller?
they can do
I just want to say,
garbage
the
pickup.
pricing site is in my area, so I don't have a problem adding more room to it.
Body on truck.
So, I
you
mean,
said
add more
they come
dumpster
by,
to it so
but-
y'all can come, like, you just have to travel a little bit further.
Joe Bird said
Because
he
I voted
shut
against
up.
putting it in y'all areas, I'm just being honest with you. But like I say, they welcome to use the Frierson site, to put more compactor
Trash
site.
pickup. He may wish he hadn't go on.
Okay, we're gonna close the comment section. We're gonna move on with our agenda. Thank you for all y'all concerns.
Stonewall, just like it's real.
President report, none. Council report,
None.
administrative report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 1, the handicap ramp driveway application. Carrie's got new applications drafted. We basically repurposed this. There's one application per program that y'all have. The only thing that has changed is there's been a signature line added for a juror, okay? For a police juror. Whenever you're doing an application, I've stressed that each juror has.
Excuse me. Could you hold up, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Hold up a minute? Cause I can't hear you.
Sorry,
I'm late to the,
I'll let them exit.
thank you.
And all these concerned citizens, get out of here.
How come? 'Cause they black?
They leaving like it been voted yet. It ain't been voted yet.
All right.
All right, thank you. We have a new application for each of the programs. You have, before we were using the same application for each one, ramp and driveway. We separated that into two. They're identical. The only thing that's different is I added a line on there so a juror can authorize it. We've been having some issues in the past with some of these some of these not getting authorized by a juror. I want to make sure the jurors are all kept in the loop on these. Each, ma'am?
Say that again.
Handicap ramp, handicap driveway. They're two different programs. We've been using the same application for both of them. I've separated those. You each have an application. The only thing that's changed on the application is a signature line is there for the juror to sign off and approve that particular application. So when a constituent calls you
In that district.
in that district, when they call you and they, hey, I need a handicap ramp or handicap driveway, y'all routinely have called the office, or typically a constituent will call and say, hey, I've talked to Ms. Burrell, I've talked to Mr. Ernell, they said, give me a handicap. Well, y'all need to sign off on those applications now. We put a line on there for the juror to sign, hey, you're approving this, okay?
And how many we got each?
You have 2 ramps and 2 driveways each juror.
Is that, I mean, like I said, we don't deal with day-to-day, but is that not day-to-day for us signing off on that?
No.
No. Y'all have to authorize that. That was
No,
a
we can
program.
authorize in the meeting, what I'm saying, yeah, we authorize in the meeting, but I'm just saying actually signing off.
Y'all have never authorized one in a meeting.
I know we
before.
authorized to do handicap ramp, I understand what you're saying, but we authorized to approve a handicap ramp. I'm trying to see what's the purpose of the signature.
The purpose of the signature is to verify that you have signed and approved that particular constituent who's requesting the ramp or the driveway.
Is
That's
that legal for us to do?
That's the only thing I'm making sure y'all are kept in the loop and y'all are approving the ones that are coming to y'all, because I've had issues where constituents have called and said, Mr. Parker or Mr. Ernell or one of you jurors have said, y'all gonna get me this, and well, we've chased this down and that's not the case. So I'm making sure that we're spending the money appropriately and it's assigned to
I
each
ain't
juror.
got no problem with it, Mike, cause you right, incidents came up where that wasn't the people that were supposed to be getting the ramp. And
So it's just 2 different applications, and we added that line for y'all to sign. So, number 2, litter report from the sheriff's crew for the first quarter of 2024. The litter crew has been out in full force picking up the garbage. The first quarter netted about 2,600 bags of garbage, clearing over 200 miles of roads that have been picked up. I want to reiterate that if you have a road or an area in which you need cleaned, please contact me. I'll coordinate with the sheriff's office, and I'll get right on that. We've had a pretty good working relationship with them so far, and they've been doing a good job. Item 3, hours changing at the road department, and this is more for the new jurors than the old ones. The old ones are familiar with this. After Memorial Day, the hours will change from 7 to 3:30 to 6 to 2:30. And that's to accommodate for the longer days and the hotter days that we have. These road crews get out there and it gets pretty hot at 2 o'clock in the afternoon laying asphalt. Those will be done, and it'll go back. We typically roll that back the day after Labor Day in September, so I'll announce it again before that time occurs. Item 4, the old jail parking lot. You may see some activity here soon regarding the breaking of the ground. That project is going to be in full construction mode by the end of this month. So if y'all have any issues, and that is also kind of ties to that CEA that y'all added to the agenda. It's just we're coordinating with the city of Mansfield to make sure we're doing everything, and they're helping with some signage and I believe rerouting traffic as needed. So. Item 5, the Hoopla fence project. Fencing is complete, and we can move forward with the new LGAP funding for the 4-H building insulation. If y'all would like to go take a look, we have the chain link fence up out there now. You have one around the perimeter, you have one around the court itself. Item 6, exterior work at the courthouse. If you notice that we put in the budget to do some work out there at the courthouse, they're going to be changing out some of the flagpoles because we were having issues with flags getting tangled up. They're going to be out there doing that. We're getting quotes on the stripping and painting of the exterior to beautify the building a little bit more, and which also will include the ceiling in the main courtroom requires some stripping and some painting as well. Item 7, the material storage barn at the road department. If you recall, this project is being funded 100% from monies we got from our legislature through the state funding program. This project has begun and should be completed by the end of June. If you'd like to go out there and take a look, they're moving along nicely considering the weather we've had. Item 8, Cell 10 update. The notice of proceed has been issued and the contractor who won the bid has been mobilizing their equipment at the landfill. This project will begin by the end of this month and is estimated to be completed by February 2025. Item 9, update for the finance department. For the next 2 weeks, as some of you may know, Miss Lily will be off. She's traveling. If anyone needs any information with the finance, please contact Ms. Freeman, the assistant parish treasurer, who will be giving the report tonight. Item 10, the ditching crew. The ditching crew has been hired and they have begun their work. Please understand that this parish has, and I'm exaggerating here, probably about 50 years worth of ditching work that needs to be done. I mean, we have a lot of ditch work. The road department will be assessing all the requests and setting priorities for what is done and when. Please reach out to me or Mr. Woodley to identify the sections needing work done. This will be a slow process as you have many factors that determine when we can do ditch work, where we can do ditch work, and how long we can do the ditch work. Things like mobilization of equipment, weather, holidays, personnel availability, utility relocation that is dependent on an 811 call being made, and utility companies moving their lines and size and scope of work to be done. We're going to be working with them as closely as possible. And that brings me to my last item, which is not in a report. I wanted to introduce everyone to the newest member in the engineer. He's the engineering tech that y'all had authorized us hire. Cornell, stand up. This is Cornell Murphy. He's a Shreveport native and graduate of C.E. Byrd High School. Cornell worked for Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for the past 18 years. He spent 5 years working with the maintenance division and the last 13 as an engineering technician. As an engineering technician, Cornell has managed and inspected projects ranging in scope from new bridge construction, asphalt paving projects, concrete paving projects, and road reconstruction projects. Cornell currently holds 3 certifications issued by Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for inspection of asphalt paving, concrete paving, and embankment and base course. When Cornell is not on a construction job, you can find him spending time with his family or attending a car show. Cornell takes pride in building lifelong relationships. He will be working directly with our road crews on our police jury projects, as well as he's going to be the RPR for the jury on contractor projects. Probably not all of them if we have too many that go on at one time, but he's going to be sticking with that. So if y'all would, please welcome Cornell to the team.
I would just like to say he was the one I spoke to. I spoke to you. Yeah. He was on division.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the report I have. If anybody has any questions.
No. My goodness, it's so good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Lobbyist report. Chance not here.
Yeah, Chance was, he called me earlier and said he wasn't able to get out of the legislative session that's currently going on.
He down there doing
But the report is in your binders if y'all want it.
Who was that?
Chance McNeely, our lobbyist.
Lobbies.
There's a report in the binder if y'all want to review that.
Okay. Financial report, please.
Good evening. Here are the high points for the financial statement from April. The general fund, we received $5.6 million in revenues. The expenses are at $3 million. Most of the divisions were paid where they should be at 33% for expenses, but the legislative division is over budget on small equipment to having purchased a cell phone. Under finance and government, miscellaneous and credit card fees are over budgeted due to recent checks getting lost in the mail. We had to do stop check payments. Under community and development, the telephone service is over budgeted due to the installing new lines at the 4-H office. Overall, the fund expenses are at 8% lower than the budgeted amount. The road fund received $8.6 million in revenues and continue to see a slight decrease in sales tax revenues. approximately 6% below projections. Most of the decrease is in the gas and oil industry. Public works expenditures are down by 4% from budgeted amount. We expect to see capital outlay in expenditures in the next 2 months. The witness and juror fund revenues are right at the projections of 33% and expenses are at 14%. The jail fund received $476,411 collected in sales tax and interest earnings, a slight decrease by 6% than projected amounts. Operational expenses are at 26%. Capital outlay are at 3.85%. This includes engineering fees for the parking lot, which should break ground by the end of the month, and the purchase order has been issued for that particular project. There was no activity for the correctional fund facility. The solid waste fund, we received $8.2 million in revenues. The sales tax collection, as mentioned earlier, is about 6% less than expected. Tipping fees are right on target at 33%. Landfill operation expenses are at 34%, slightly higher than expected. Some is due to the water treatment services. We are removing more leachate water than before. Compactor site operation expenses are at 29%. The criminal court fund, we received $208,142 in revenue, and the expenses have been $161,342, a net change of $46,799. The Office of Community Services Fund revenues are at 30%, while expenses are at 32%. These are reimbursements for programs lagging about a month behind. The Airport Fund revenues are at 28%, while the expenses are 31%. The fund is operating off the fund balance. The Rental Assistance Fund revenues are at 34% and expenses are at 33%. Eastside Sewer Fund, we spent $338.92 on utilities. We had to pay past due DEQ permit fees in the amount of $545. We requested final bills on utilities, and that project has been completed as well. Animal Service Fund, the fee revenues is 113%, reflecting on the contribution of the grant received. Operational expenses are at 32%, and capital outlay is at 46%. The last fund is the sinking fund. We receive a total of interest for the year of $16,840. And that's the update on the financials.
Thank you, Ms. April.
You're welcome.
Motion to accept the financial report.
I have a motion by Mr. Baker to accept the financial report. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Simpson. Okay, discussion? None, please vote.
I will say while y'all are voting on that one, just to pay attention, I anticipate us to be over budget on the leachate processing because this year we've had more water in the first 3 months of this year than anticipated. I think last report is of 48 inches for an average year. We've already received over 40 inches. In addition, with the drilling that they're doing out at the gas plant for the gas system that we're putting in, that also produces a lot more leachate. So we're having to process a lot more at the same time. So just wanted you guys to know that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Motion passes. Approval of minutes. Approval of minutes, April 15th, 2024. Regular meeting, May 6th, 2024. Administrative, budget and finance, building properties, policies and procedures, road insurance, zoning, economic development, special meeting.
So move with all necessary corrections.
I got a motion by Mr. Fuller. Second by Ms. Burrell. Any discussions on the approval of minutes? If not, please vote. Like we have one remaining.
You made the motion.
I hit my button, I hit it again.
Gotta hold them up, man.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Motion passes. Old business. Authorize the president to sign the CEA with the city of Mansfield to provide safe two-way traffic for Mount Street, Adams Street, and placing curves and gutters, widen portion of each street, and placing definite parking spaces at old jail site. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Ms. Burrell.
One
A
question.
discussion?
Yeah, by Adam Street. That's gonna be fixing this section that didn't get fixed right there.
No, at the end of the parking lot, correct, Mr.?
Right there between here and the jail.
Right.
Between here and the jail. Okay, they ain't gonna try to fix, that looks so bad, right down our downtown area.
Right,
That's the
that-
only little street, it ain't no longer the
Right.
sidewalk,
Right, that would be another,
and it's a business there.
That's what, the purpose of this would be, as you see, in, between the courthouse and the courthouse annex, how they have the diagonal parking on one side and the parallel parking on this side. We plan on to mirror that on Adams Street, all that temporary rock and so forth that's there. This allows us to put a curb and gutter along that, on the city right of way. That's why the CEA is needed, and repair
Right.
that street that was damaged as part of the removing the old jailhouse. And then, of course, Mouton is a very narrow street. It's only about 12, 14 feet wide. So if we want to maintain two-way traffic there, we'll put that curb and gutter and widen that street as well.
yeah, Ms. Burrell talking about another project,
Okay.
but we can put that on next month's agenda.
Yeah, 'cause that need fixed, you really do.
Please vote. I guess it's me. Have one remaining.
So sorry. Miss Trina over here.
Motion passes. Resolution. Recommend authorize the president to sign a resolution accepting ownership of whatever rights the state of Louisiana through Department of Transportation and Development may own with inspection of any of all mineral rights in and to follow described property and agree to accept all future operation, maintenance, and repairs associated therewith for its operation and maintenance as the Parish Road, Parks Road. Got a motion by Mr. Fuller. Yeah, that's your area.
Second,
Second by Mrs. Simpson.
for discussion.
Discussion.
What is the Cliff Note version of this? Give me the short version, because this.
This is Parks Road about in front of the relay station. We're gonna raise that road, and it's doing the next.
So we're gonna raise the road that floods across the.
Right.
I got you now,
Yeah.
much better.
Page
Oh, no,
50,
you're
55
good.
in your notes right there, you have a visual of what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at this weekend. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What's this here?
There's no more discussion. Please vote.
I have none.
Motion passes. Item 7 on the resolution, authorize the president to sign a resolution providing a canvass and return declaring the results of a special election held in the parish of DeSoto, state of Louisiana on Saturday, April 27, 2024, to authorize renewal for the special tax therein. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Holmes made the motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Baker. Discussion. There's no discussion, please vote. This is a tax that already passed. Motion passes. Administrative item.
Administrative items, number 8, recommends adopting the 2024-2025 operating budget for the DeSoto Parish Sales Use Tax Commission.
So move.
Got a motion made by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mrs. Simpson. Discussion? There's no discussion, please vote. Motion passes.
Item number 9, recommends authorizing the president to sign a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Village of South Mansfield for reflective stop signs and a chlorine shack for the sewage system. Ms. Tina Simpson's ARPA funds.
I have a motion, Ms. Simpson.
Yes.
Got a motion by Mrs. Simpson,
I accept.
second by Mr. Fuller. Discussion?
I know. No discussion.
There's no discussion, please vote. We have two more remaining.
Oh, Mr. Burrell got me over there.
Motion passes.
And item number 10, recommends authorizing the president to sign the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
So moved.
Got a motion made by Mr. Jones, seconded by Mrs. Burrell. Discussion? There's no discussion, please vote. Have two remaining.
I'm Master Button.
I pressed the button.
I'm Master Button.
Maybe it went to the ceiling. I did do that.
Motion passes. Budget and finance, please.
Budget and Finance recommends authorizing the purchase of property for the construction of new compactor site in the town of Stonewall on Pine Grove.
I make the motion.
Second. Mr. Lathan make the motion. Mr. Raines second it. In the discussion?
All right, I'd like to say.
Okay.
So, we are authorizing the purchase of this location, and nothing is set in stone, right, that we're gonna purchase this property?
Still has to go through planning and zoning up in Stonewall and before this town of Stonewall's council.
Okay, so we know the people of Stonewall know we're looking at this property.
Right.
If it passes, we still have a month or so before, more than a month, would you say?
I'd say you're probably gonna have 60 to 90 days before the whole process
Okay,
is
we got the
complete.
mayor of Stonewall in here, we got a main developer in Stonewall in here, I got some school teachers back there that can get the word around to the people of Stonewall that if they can't find another compactor site location, it's going on Pine Grove if this thing passes.
And just so, I'm still talking to various landowners as well. I get calls. I got a call today because this item's on the agenda. Ironically, it's from a, I'm going to refrain who it was, but it's from a landowner who said, "Hey, would you look at my site?" Well, I've contacted you 2.5 years ago. I've been reaching out to you several times. The more this stuff gets traction, the more we get it out there, the more people will contact me so I can get the ball rolling on this. I've been working on this for 2.5 years, asking people, and I've talked to a dozen landowners up there, most of which have told me no, or they want me to buy 20 acres. And the jury can't, we don't want to buy 20 acres. I mean, that's just silly, So, I mean, all that being said, the word's out. I regret that it digressed the way it did tonight because we're not informing people about it. There's a process, and this is part of the process of getting out there and just getting authorization to purchase something. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, but to me, really honestly, we putting the cart before the horse. I mean, we gonna buy land and we not sure we gonna use it for that purpose.
No, ma'am.
It don't make sense for me to purchase this land if you not sure what you finna do with it.
I'm not going to
Especially
purchase.
at the money they asking for. This the money.
Again, we're not purchasing the land until it is completed through the planning and zoning and the town of Stonewall signs off on that. The jury's not purchasing anything. I've already told the landowner that, and they're okay with that. I say, look, if it doesn't get through the zoning process, then we're gonna have to go, we're gonna have to go and look for something else somewhere else. But to say that nobody has been informed up there, it's true. Probably some people on Pine Grove may not be aware of some items that were been brought to the jury's attention before, like Mr. Fuller's talked about. This is something we've talked about before. But we notify the public through public hearings. We notify the public by publishing our agendas. We can't send a letter out to everybody saying, "Hey, we're looking at property over here."
If the city of Stonewall wants to implement a tax for a trash pickup, I'm okay with closing the dump.
I mean,
Wait a minute.
how can they got the implemental tax for it? I mean.
Cause I don't think they have a dedicated revenue for anything like that up there in Stonewall. In fact, I know they don't. I was a former councilman. They don't have a dedicated revenue for
But
for
something
trash
has
pickup.
to be
Gonna pass
done.
a-
We have to have a
Probably
solution.
gonna pass a tax, a
Right,
sales tax.
they would have to pass a
Sales tax or something. Yeah,
a
and which
property
we won't
tax
do.
or a dedicated sales tax to do something
A
like that.
24-mile round trip is not a solution for the 2,000 people that live in Stonewall. I promise you that.
Mr.
We
Fuller?
used to have that
How-
many
can I-
Mansfield
can
and
I-
they did.
If it's proper, can I ask the mayor to come up and explain, you know, his, Mayor, do you mind? don't mean to put you on the spot,
I
but-
lived in Mansfield from 1986 to 2005, and I lived in the middle of Mansfield, and I drove 2 miles to the dump. So there wasn't no 25-mile round trip to a dump
Nah,
in
I ain't
Mansfield.
said no 25. I ain't never had, I go to the dump when I get ready, but they pick up my trash faithfully every Monday morning.
That's a city tax, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it ain't no city tax, they charge us on our water bill, and they charge us for pickup, garbage pickup. See what I'm saying?
Hey.
That's one reason they got the tax passed, cause they told the people, if they don't pass it, we're gonna have to be charged for the dump in the dump.
We
or
won't
the-
need a dump
the
in Stonewall if
landfill.
the city gets a trash pickup. We won't need a dump. Save a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, do all the options. I mean, it's more than one option. You can roll your eyes, I don't care, but it's more than one option.
Well, hopefully more landowners will come forward like what they're doing.
That's what I know Mr. Norton said that he's been speaking to some other landowners in regards to them looking at their property. Can we possibly how long have we been working on this?
He said 2 years.
I've been working on this for over 2 years.
But how long has it been before us? I mean, this is my first.
Oh, I think the first time was probably 6 months or so ago.
So-
that
Well, I
it's
think
been
we
Brought to us.
It came up in,
Was
it,
brought to us.
How do we feel
it came
about
up in the
alternate?
budget.
Right, and
It
y'all,
came
y'all,
up in the budget.
yeah, y'all set a budget for that, for the land acquisition, so.
And there's also a guy got a tract of land east of 49 there is willing to sell.
So can we
I'm
make,
gonna refer.
Why don't we look at all of those
can we make
opportunities?
a alternate motion?
Do we not remember what happened 2 weeks ago?
My hand was up, Mr. Rowe.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'd like to make an alternate motion, first of all, take off Pines Grove and look for, I'm not saying purchase right now.
Yeah.
I mean, allow them to look for property, because we don't even know what the cost of the property gonna be to talk about purchasing, voting to purchase. I mean, you, like Ms. Perez said, you putting the cart before the horse, you don't know the price of the property, and don't even vote on purchasing no property. That's me, that's my take on that.
Well, we know the price of this property.
Right.
I understand that, and the people that say they don't want their property, so that's off the table for me. I got what you're saying, yes, but that's not even on the table with me now.
If you change the motion to say, let's just look at, I already have that mandate. Y'all made that mandate in the budget when you set a budget price of $550,000. So that's why I've been trying to stay under that budget, you know. And this one has so far come in at the cheapest one, that's 280.
Okay, this one is what the people saying they don't want in their area, and I support
What the
them with
people on Pine Grove, yes,
Yeah.
that's what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Can't
The people on
stand
Pine
the
Grove
road.
don't want it in
And
that
I
area.
support them with that.
Right.
So there's no need me even voting on that issue.
So you're
that's why I said
so
I'll
you're
make-
gonna
I'll
be
make an
okay
alternate.
with 375?
Sir?
You're gonna be okay with 375?
I ain't.
People that
That's
said
the other.
they don't want it.
That's the
It's
other.
for
op-
$2.
That's the other option we got.
The other
375.
option was what, Stanley Road?
That's on.
And they don't want it.
That was Stanley Road,
People say they don't
right?
want it.
171.
Oh,
171.
171.
I already told you what you can do for Frierson. You can put some more contractors over there in the Frierson site.
So is there a
Until you
division?
can find some proper
He
property.
said that's what it was appraised
Ma'am?
at. He's not going to accept that.
Any more discussion?
Right now, the only two viable options we have are the one on Stanley Road and the one on Pine Grove. But because of the process, it's gonna take us 60 to 90 days to do anything. I can't move forward with even trying to rezone unless I get a mandate from the jury. Hey, we're gonna try to purchase this property. We're not purchasing it today. We're not signing anything, and certainly this process is gonna be transparent. I'm gonna give y'all reports on this moving forward if it passes tonight.
Well, if I was the mayor and I had this many people don't want it, I sure wouldn't go for it.
Hey, look, that's my entire point. We got 60 to 90 days. We got plenty of people in here with from Stonewall with many connections. We've been working on this 2.5 years to find property. We found it. If we got these people in here in this room tonight with that many connections in Stonewall, and we can't find 3 acres, we got to go with this property.
No, we don't.
No, we don't have to
We
go
don't?
with that
Mayor, I
property.
would like to hear what you have to say.
Only thing I gotta say about that, it's not our responsibility to find the property. I mean, giving fair justice about this,
Well-
it's not our deal. I didn't take office until 2 years ago, but I've been in it for over 30 years down in the community, so. Don't, I'm not asking you politely, don't try to put it on our shoulders to turn around and find the property when it's a police jury issue.
Why not?
We're not asking.
Why not? Yeah, I mean,
No, we,
Don't mind asking to put stuff on
I'm
our
telling you,
property, like
why
on
not?
road
You
fixed up.
you serve the public. You serve the people.
That's right.
The people need a landfill.
I do, but I'm not.
But you say you
I'm not the negotiator that's supposed to be finding the property.
why not? You the mayor. The people look to you for leadership.
Yes, sir. and
They
I'm
need
gonna
a
do
they
that.
need a compactor site.
I'm doing my part, you do your part.
Right? No, that's you not doing your part. Instead of saying I'm not the mayor, I'm just the mayor. You speak for the
carry
people.
on discussion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
The jurors.
I made the ultimate
Mr.
motion
Ruff.
that we take Pine Grove and all that off of that list.
Yeah.
He did.
You made the alternate motion to
Yes.
take Pine Grove.
I said, I don't mind purchasing property. They can find some reasonable property. I have no problem in doing that. But like I said, until then, they can put it in some more in Froston. That's my last time even saying that.
What is reasonable?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what's your reasonable thought in pricing?
Come on, y'all. Y'all know
Ready
that's
to do
too
it. I
much
voted
for
last
the
week,
property.
no, and I'm voting this
And
week, no.
that just robbed
Well,
the
first-
people 'cause they
First
can't.
off, he made an alternate motion, and there's a second.
So let's
Okay.
And he has nothing
Vote on
on
that.
there about price.
vote it up or down.
Okay.
So, write his
Who
alternate
seconded?
motion.
Who seconded?
Jerry.
Ms. Burrell, second? Okay. So we'll,
No, that's not the alternate motion.
no.
No,
He said, take, and Stanley Road. He said, I'll do it.
Stanley Road.
So
wasn't
actually
on
what you wanna do, you
My
wanna do,
thing is take that town on Stonewall because we can't, if they don't agree to it, we can't put it in there. So, if I'm not, is that correct?
What's he saying?
If it's in the city limits of Stonewall and they agree not to,
Mr. Fuller, what was your alternate motion? There seems to be.
that's
some
what I'm trying to get correct now.
confusion. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not trying to be funny.
No,
That's why I
I'm-
said, I want, if we need to take the town of Stonewall off, I would like to take it out. I said, I don't have a problem purchasing property. That was my
Nothing in
motion.
Stonewall.
I don't mind purchasing property for a compactor site, but take that Pines Grove off and Stonewall's out of the city of Stonewall. Until you can find out, until they approve it, there's no need of doing that.
but that's the
Jody?
property.
Make it say area.
Can we do it, if the city of Stonewall, they don't approve it, can we put one there, Sia?
Where?
In the city of Stonewall, in the city limits of Stonewall?
If they won't zone it, no, you can't.
Right.
That's
If
right.
if
So
it's
that's
not
right.
zoned
Leave
correctly, you
Stonewall
can't.
out. So there's no need of saying it there if they're not gonna approve it. That's the only point I'm trying to say. I don't mind purchasing property somewhere out there. I have no problem with that, but not in the city of
So,
Stonewall.
in a nutshell, other words you're saying is to go defer this item and let Michael have more time to look for
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
property.
Exactly.
I thought that was your
Robbie, I
first
knew, man.
motion was
I don't think
to-
Stonewall ever said they were going to not let us put one at all in
Yeah.
the town.
We've only heard from people on Pine Grove. Y'all haven't heard from the entire town of Stonewall.
And you haven't heard from
I
the
guess
city
one
council, they haven't had a
The
discussion
folks-
on it
I'm-
yet.
I'm through with it.
Right.
Like I said, I made my motion.
I have
Yes,
brought
they
this,
have.
I brought this before the town of Stonewall last week, and I had discussions with them. I said, listen, they're only giving me a mandate, if it passes, to negotiate with the landowner up to this certain purchase price. I still have to bring this before planning and zoning. I still have to bring this back to this town of Stonewall. We're not purchasing property before that process occurs. That's why I went up there and talked to them about that, and to which I believe one of the councilmen said, what do you need from us? So right now, what we need from them is just let us get to that point. So, but if you pass it like that, You're authorizing me to spend up to $550,000 and not bring it back to y'all? Is that what that is? Because that's, you have a budget of $550,000 that y'all passed last year. That's the mandate that I have, but I'm bringing it back to y'all to give y'all the opportunity to look at this stuff. If that's the motion,
Robbie,
I would ask Jennifer McKay to clarify, but that tells me I have the authority to go and purchase property and construct it within the budget that was set. Is that correct?
Well, what I thought Mr. Fuller's original motion was that he recommended that you go locate further property for consideration.
Right.
I thought that was his
Right.
motion,
That's what he
alternate
said.
motion.
But
Then
I
it was
don't like that.
seconded by somebody.
Me.
That's not what item 11 says.
But that's
So
pretty,
the alternate motion,
that's pretty broad. It could be the entire parish. I think it should be
that was the
in the
motion.
North DeSoto Parish area.
Well, procedurally, that was the motion, it was seconded, then you discuss it, and then you either
Hold on.
vote it down or you vote it up.
No.
I mean, but my recollection, and if somebody thinks differently, I thought the original motion made by Mr. Fuller was that, that the jury authorized, Mr. Norton to locate additional properties for the jury's consideration. But I'm one of 12 people up here, if someone remembers it differently, but that's how I remember it.
Thank you, Ms.
Did you get that, Miss Jody?
Thank you.
You voted yes.
So we're,
If they really don't want it, they'll find other property.
so we're voting on the alternate motion now. Whenever it gets up.
Pray about it. Lord, I've seen something, I've seen some property.
Yeah. Tiffany for me.
So then, Mr. Fuller, is that your recollection?
yeah.
So then, there's, any other discussion that you want to have on this, then you vote on the alternate motion. And if it passes, and if it fails, then you vote on the original motion.
So if there's no more discussion, please vote. On the alternate motion. Motion passes.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I want to let Mr. Latham know that I've gone, I guess, I've gone off record, but I'm going on record as saying that I am all for Stonewall area getting a compactor site. Just like all the other areas in DeSoto Parish has a compactor site. I want to get that out of the way right, make that crystal clear. But I do want it to be kind of right. I understand the drive you're saying, I do get that. And I wouldn't put that off on them or anybody to have to drive that type of distance. But it's gotta be, it's gotta be right. I mean, first of all, it's gotta be something we can purchase, something that's not endangering anybody in the community. But I do want Stonewall to get a compactor site. So this is not over. We're gonna keep battling whatever we gotta do to make that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Okay, we're up to item 12, Mr. Baker.
Recommends authorizing hiring the services of a dietitian as required by the Department of Corrections and amend the budget in the amount of $17,500.
So moved.
I got a motion made by Mrs. Simpson,
Second.
second by Mr. Jones. Discussion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Norton, elaborate on that for me, please.
The Department of Justice and Department of Corrections requires that the sheriff's office provide a dietitian, a meal plan utilizing a dietitian, and this is, we have no choice. We have to hire it's an outside consultant, essentially providing the sheriff's office with a meal plan for those inmates.
They don't have meal
I have a
plans?
question.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir.
It requires the sheriff's department to hire them. Why are we paying for it?
Because
The sheriff can hire mechanics. The sheriff can hire, most anything he wants to hire. And here they're required to have a dietitian. Why doesn't he hire a dietitian?
In other words,
It's,
you're
it,
asking-
as I understand it, it's the responsibility of the jury to
Yes, out of
take
his
care of
budget.
the inmates.
That should be his employee, just like a secretary would be his employee, just like a jailer would be his employee, just like a mechanic would be his employee, just like a helicopter pilot would be his employee. This is his employee.
Yep.
He should be hiring this employee. It's not our job to hire his employees.
Did this come, I have a
Our responsibility to that jail over there is to take care of the jail facility. The employees are his.
Yep. You sure paying a lot of other folks employees.
Mr. Fuller?
Didn't we hire the, like the nurses and those people? Didn't we hire those
Yes.
for the jail?
It ain't our responsibility, like Mr. Holmes said. You setting up all that money in reserve, I'm like, Mr. Holmes, you paying.
I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter to me who hire them, we could still have to pay for it. We're
No,
gonna be
we
the one that have to pay that 17.
The taxpayers
No,
will
we
pay
don't.
for it in the end.
It's gonna
but
be
not out
us.
of our pocket.
We're gonna have to pay
Out of
that.
pocket.
Yeah. We're gonna be responsible for that. Yes, sir.
We're not gonna pay for
No,
that.
we don't.
Sheriff get a tax as well.
Tax, sheriff
He
get a
pays for
tax.
his.
Sheriff get a tax.
They don't require that?
We
Dietary?
don't pay his employees.
They don't,
Yeah,
state don't
exactly.
require that?
Mr. Holmes right, Mr. Fuller.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
What just happened?
I have a discussion. I have a question. I have a discussion.
Ms. Simpson?
I mean, a question.
You might be right, but I don't agree with it.
I agree with Mr. Holmes. I mean, for me, I'm thinking, well, what is his budget paying for? But in the past, we've been paying for nurses and all those, individuals for the facility.
It has to go over there.
I think moving forward after this, because I'm gonna vote yes, because I mean, right is right, have to have good quality meals and a dietitian. But I would like to know just exactly what does the funds pay for over there, other than just,
Cars and
wanna-
barbecue pits.
okay. But do you understand
Yes,
what
ma'am.
we're saying?
There any more discussion? There's no more discussion, please vote.
Here's hoping everybody vote yes, so, cause they gotta have a dietitian. We just gotta get better at what we done, honey.
What's your other question?
How did this come up on the budget and financing? Who,
You're amending the budget. That's why
who,
we,
I understand amending the budget, but who brought it to you to amend for us? to-
Sheriff's Department brought it to me. They
Okay,
sent it
got
over
you,
to me.
that,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what, that was the answer I wanted to hear.
Motion passes.
She got rid of that fast. I didn't see who voted against that.
You know what I'm saying?
Buildings and properties, Parks and Recreation.
So the sheriff brought it.
Buildings and Properties recommends amending the jail budget capital for the upgrade of cameras at the detention center in the amount of $97,000, state contract.
That's us again?
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Parker. Have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Baker. Discussion.
Now, see, that's what Mr. Holmes saying. That's what we responsible for. And I'm gonna agree with Mr. Holmes, cause we coming up with a lot of salaries that we shouldn't be responsible for different people, for real. We got 2, 3 over here at the courthouse. We got, we paying salaries, but who get the less money? The any entity, the police jury. And they be setting up over there on $50, $60 million in surpluses and stuff. In reserve. When cause we footing all on the bill. And this time we wake up to it.
Yeah, I'd like to know why why do we need these cameras at the jail? What's the reason for buying new cameras?
I understand that the cameras are broken, or some are broken, and it protects the sheriff from any type of
Covering the
lawsuits.
areas that are not covered
Yep,
currently.
and it covers the people that are in the detention center. If they are mistreated, then it's on video. And I am under the understanding that it can be transferred to the new jail once it's built.
That is correct.
Did we get bids on this?
No,
Mr.
because
Holmes,
they're on a
that's
state contract.
Oh.
Any more discussion?
The state contract has to do with the price of the stuff, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, but it also, as far as when they're listed on a state contract, you don't have to go out to bid unless it's over, I believe, $250,000. Anything less than that, you can go off a state contract and
Could we
just
have
make the
gotten bids, though,
purchase.
possibly to get it cheaper than the state contract?
As I understand it, Homeland Security is currently the one that's out there doing it. We could do that, but you're gonna have to bring
That's
another
it.
agency in,
That's it.
and it's gonna, it could possibly go up a lot more
Way
expensive.
higher.
This is the one that's on state contract.
Mr. Holmes, this is a company that has his cameras in all facilities, including the schools. They have take care of his system.
So they keep the cameras, the system up, they're going to take care of the maintenance and everything.
That
of
is
these
his,
cameras.
from talking to him, that is who he calls to take care of all the cameras.
Because like Mr. Norton said, if you change companies, you got to change out everything. Because Homeland has their own stuff, so you know, you're gonna have to change out everything, so you're coming out cheaper doing this.
There's no more discussion, please vote. Motion passes.
Recommends authorizing the administrator to research a sales tax, including City of Mansfield, for developing a sports complex at the industrial park.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion by Ms. Burrell, second by Mr. Jones. Discussion? There's no discussion, please vote.
No.
Sorry.
Explain, the timeline on this possibly a little bit so everybody will be
Okay, in order to do this, this would have to be a request through the legislature to go beyond, if you're including the city of Mansfield and now Grand Cane, because Grand Cane had just passed and successfully levied a sales tax in their area. To make a parish-wide, you have to go before the legislature. And the earliest that can happen would be next year at the next legislative session, which would be signed by the governor at the earliest, June 30th of that fiscal year. Then you have to call for the election, put that before the constituents, which would probably put you in the December of '25 to vote on it. And then implementation, you would need at least 3 months to implement that. So you're talking April, May of 2026 before this could get passed.
Sound good to me?
There's no more discussion, please vote.
And Grand Cane's, new sales tax took them over the, limit?
If we were to go for, I think your discussion
don't
was like
think
a
it
half
did.
a cent, didn't y'all discuss doing like
Or
a
we
half a cent?
discussed a quarter.
Oh, a quarter?
Yes.
No, well, in that case, it would only be it'd only be the city of Mansfield.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Because Grand Cane passed a 1/4%.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I didn't think Grand Cane was already at the max.
Okay, well, my mistake. I thought it was a 1/2% y'all were discussing, but no, if it was a 1/4%, then it would still require you get permission from the legislature to exceed that amount for Mansfield.
Well, we need to start having some kind of workshops or something, huh?
Well, no, ma'am, not on that not unless the legislature gives you permission to exceed that sales tax ceiling. So, if you're gonna pass it in the city of Mansfield.
Yeah, that's gonna hinder us, that's what you're saying.
It's just gonna take a lot more time because we have to go to the legislature.
Motion passes. Policies, procedure item.
Recommends updating the policy for holiday schedule.
So move. I got a motion made by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mrs. Simpson. Discussion. If there's no discussion, please vote. Got one remaining. Motion passes. Road items.
Road items. Recommends authorizing the process of closing abandoned Bice Road.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by Ms. Burrell. I second. Rodriguez second.
I had an alternate motion,
Okay.
I thought containing some wording that you would need to
Yeah,
include to
Mr.
make this legal.
Mr. Ernell has the alternate motion.
If you got it, you may have to. No, let's do the mic.
There
Yeah, they're behind,
there it is.
behind.
Okay, all right. The alternate motion is to make a motion to find no public purpose for the northern part of Bice Road, as demonstrated on the attachment labeled Exhibit 1. There is located within Swepco property, and this road dedicated, be provoked. Dedication be provoked. Get
Okay.
that?
You
So
still-
move.
Second by Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker made the motion.
Well, no, he made the alternate
Okay,
motion.
I'm sorry. Mr. Jones made the,
Well, I
alternate
second
motion. Mr. Baker seconded. Discussion on the alternate motion.
That means that we're gonna let them close the portion of that road that runs through the Swepco property.
Any discussion? If there's no discussion on this item, please vote. Motion passes. Item 17.
Recommends approving the E911 naming of Gin Lot Private Lane off of Highway 5 in Grand Cane.
Make a motion.
Got a, Mr. Fuller made the motion. Mr. Holmes, you still want a second? Mr. Holmes, second. Discussion? There's no discussion, please vote.
Motion to adjourn.
One remaining. Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Burrell, second by Ms. Simpson. We'll adjourn. Have a good evening, everyone.